Good evening everybody, welcome back to TTTV. This is TTL F1 season number 13, round number 8, which takes us to the French Grand Prix. My name is Kieran McGinley, it's just me tonight as we head to the Paul Ricard circuit. And well, we're waiting to see whether Squeezy can make it 6 wins in a row and if anybody could stop him in that time. Now, it's been a dominant time for Squeezy. Obviously, he does lead the Drivers' Championship, and he does lead by quite some margin. He's on 168 points to Jay's 79 points. Ollie in third on 61, with Spike in fourth on 59. Laronix, who has recently moved down to a reserve for personal reasons, he's on 58 points. Sean in the Haas is in 6th on 51 points, with Lambo tied with Lighty on 38 points there in 7th place. Odem's in 9th, of course, as the let me get my words out. Premium reserve driver for the Williams. He is in 9th place on 30 points, with Mays in 10th. For Renault on 27 points. Then it's White in 11th place on 26 points. Zenki in 12th on 12 points. Poe, Blizzard and Siege all tied for 13th place, all on 10 points each. Alan K is then in 16th on 9 points. Dave M in 17th as a reserve driver on 4 points. Graham in 18th in the Sauber on 3 points. Yuzi on 19th place with 2 points. Damien in 20th on 1 point. And he's also tied there with Plaster, who is a reserve driver. And let's hope then that we get a little bit more competitive. We had the gone is Monaco, gone is Canada. You know, it comes down to the track I least liked to drive around when I was a driver, to the track I most liked. And now we come to the French Grand Prix, which of course is well, the Paul Ricard circuit, which has a very interesting history. Jackie Stewart won the first French Grand Prix right here at Paul Ricard, obviously without the blue and red bits all around the circuit there. Was mainly used for a test track. Some drivers would come here. Obviously, Jerez was the place to be for testing, but testing was done here. It's normally done for other series instead, but Paul Ricard made the decision to come back to Formula 1, and let's just hope that it does provide the racing that we need. It's got those DRS zones as well, so hopefully it opens up an opportunity for those overtakes as well. And well, let's just hope that the PSN servers hold out for this one, and I hope you're looking forward to this French Grand Prix as I am as well. And we're having a look here to see if Squeezy is in the lobby tonight. No sign of him just yet. One driver making a debut to TTL F1 is George Roberts there. Making a return, by the way, is Little Piece in the Toro Rosso. Was racing in TTL F1 a couple of seasons ago, now making his return to the grid. So it'll be interesting to see what his pace is like. Has it fallen off? Has it got better? Who knows? We're going to find out tonight. And hopefully we will be treated to a fantastic race as we go through the 15 corners that cover 5.842 kilometres, with the first race back in 1971, as I said, won by Jackie Stewart, 3-time world champion. We will have, I believe, 27 laps around this track, covering around about 158 2.5 set by Valtteri Bottas in 2018. Now, work began on Paul Ricard's track in 1960. Pescarolo acting as consultants on the layout, and racing began at the circuit a year later. And obviously Jackie Stewart winning the inaugural race in his Tyrrell 003 in 1971. And it's a distribution of high, medium and low speed corners, and that is why it's one of the most used test circuits in the world. Obviously there's the 290 km/h right-hander at Senior, and the 5G corner following the Beausset bend. It is an interesting track. There's no gravel traps around here. Instead, you've got the abrasions all around the outside of the circuit, and that is used to stop the car. The blue bits are high abrasion, the red bits are very high abrasion, so you don't want to really be dipping a tyre onto those parts of the track. And well, we're going to wait and see what is in store for us tonight. Obviously make sure you're commenting down below, and Spike saying get the baguettes. Not sure about that one. Thomas Lighty in the chat there saying rain. Well, I don't know if you know there's rain yet, but I'm guessing you're hoping there's rain for this one. Well, the French track is, well, this French track in particular, not known to rain that often. So it should be interesting to see whether that happens, but we're going in now to the qualifying session. And of course, this means I have to do the thumbnail, I have to share the video, and do all of that lovely stuff in the time it takes for us to get to qualifying. So hopefully I can do that in good time and in good opportunities. Let us know what you're thinking of the race then, and who do you think is going to be taking away the full 25 points. Can Squeezy look for a 7th win of the season, 6 in a row? It's going to be one of those races where you think there that Squeezy might just run away with it, but stranger things have happened. Obviously you can see the multiple layouts on the track as we headed towards the loading screens in qualifying. And let's have a look. It is as dry as a bone here at the Paul Ricard circuit. Dry as a bone. Use that for your future synonyms and similes, or whatever you want to call it. That's one I've made. So 17 drivers here tonight at the Paul Ricard circuit, and who will be the first out on track? Well, I'll be very surprised if it isn't Squeezy. It normally is him first out on track. But it's a healthy amount of drivers here tonight, and that is obviously great to see. Sage back in the Red Bull tonight. Great to see him back. We've also got, as I said, Little Piece back in the TTL F1 series for the first time in a couple of seasons. George Roberts as well there. Was racing as a reserve, I do believe. But Damon here makes his way out onto the circuit, and it looks like in the Haas he's going to be the first one out on track. So let's see what the Haas driver can do then. Obviously with that limiter off, warming up the rear tyres, and Mays then reporting that at the end of the race there's going to be showers towards the end, so very interesting. Might see some intermediate tyres towards the end of this race. Let's see how that goes. And you can see there that those bits of blue and red there, the high abrasive surfaces. There's no gravel traps here, so obviously it's cheaper to maintain because obviously you don't have to sweep up the gravel every time someone goes off. Well, that's a test circuit here. There's over 100, I think 120 layouts of this track or something like that. Over 100 layouts of this track can be used if you really want to. But you can see there we have a chicane in the middle of that long back straight then. And DRS is only down half of it. When you get through turn 9 here on the run up towards turn 10, you'll see here no DRS. Heading up through the right-hander now. And sometimes when you get to this track, it obviously can be a little bit difficult to see or tell where you're going, but once you get those first few laps under your belt, it's pretty clear where you need to be going. As Damien here now making his way through turn 12. Watch the exit on turn 12 as well. The rear end does love to snap out at you as you now head with Damien through turn 14 and now coming down towards turn 15. Rewards patience here. We're going to ride on board for Damien for this lap of Paul Ricard then as he makes his way towards the start finish line. DRS open, or the short run towards turn 1. You see it goes uphill down the crest, and then you've got the braking zone just ahead of you, just where the curb ends in the middle there, through turn 1 and through turn 2. Very cambered there. You've got to watch out for the car. It can understeer on you at a moment's notice as we head now down towards turn 3, trying to use those curves wherever possible to try and drag the car into the corners as we now head towards one of the slowest corners on the track, through turn 5 and now coming through turn 6. Patience on the throttle here, wait for the car to grip in and then feed the car through, feed the throttle through as we head through turn 7. A little bit wide there from Damien, maybe wider than he'd like there, and he's actually going to abandon the lap, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, on the run down towards turn 8 then, you're looking to try and get the car as stuck as possible. Let's jump on board with Squeezy then as he now rides through turn 9, using that curb as much as possible now as he now makes his way towards turn 10. Now making our way through the third sector of the track. This is the right-hander, 290 kilometers an hour as you turn the car in. As you hear there, Squeezy still full throttle as you use the curb on the left-hand side to try and help the car steer in. Very wide entry into turn 11. Helps the exit, use that left hand side curb there. You can see Squeezy, they're actually using the bits of blue tarmac there, the high abrasive surface, to try and get a little bit more grip as we now head through turn 13 and now towards turn 14. Have to be very patient through here, especially through turn 15, just coming up now. Clip the curb on the inside as you make your way now towards the start-finish line. And you can see there the pit lane is a very tight one at that. It basically just goes straight to the right-hand side on the main straight. But there you can see Sean there is on a flying lap. He's on a set of soft tyres. This Pursuit sets the first lap of the day with a 1:31.8. And let's have a look at those best tyres. Obviously 3 tyres to select from today. The Ultra Softs, the Super Softs and the soft tyres. No jumping of tyres. None of that business today. As we now make our way with Damien there on the Super Soft tyres. We've also got Plaster out there. Second race of the season for him in the reserve drivers. Red Bull there wanting to give him another go as well. Poe then, 1:31.9, and it's safe to say it's been a season where Ferrari have struggled. So it's going to be a tough one for Ferrari. They'll be hoping for a good result today. At the moment, 1:31.9 from Poe. We're sort of expecting 1:30s at least to be the pole time today, as Siege is also out there, making his way now down towards turns 8 and 9. And you have to watch the exit of turn 9. Very easy to lose the back end as you now go up the hill on the run up towards turn 10. That fast right-hander. It can promote a little bit of side-by-side action. But some will be braver than others as we now head through turn 11 on board with Siege then. As Sean goes quickest now, 1:31.7 in the Haas there. Siege running a little bit wide on the exit of 11 as you now head through turn 12. And Sector 3 is all about patience here. You've got to let the car be settled before you try and do a hard acceleration. As we now head through turn 14 on the short run towards turn 15. And now watching the exit here as Siege makes his way out of turn 15 towards the start-finish line. Goes top then 1:30.0. So in fact we'll be seeing 1:29s, that's for sure, as the cars get quicker and quicker here. Damien 1:32.2 puts him in 5th place right now. Yuzi there 1:32.4 on a set of ultra soft tyres. Graham 1:32.5 on those ultra softs. Plus a 1:33.8 on a set of soft tyres. We've got Zenki there. It's just about to start his flying lap now. 9th place at the moment. Obviously hasn't set a lap time just yet. Little piece here in the Toro Rosso, just slightly losing that back end on the exit of turn 12. And I wonder if that's invalidated the lap time then. As we now head towards turn 14 and then short run towards turn 15. And will he dive into the pits? Will he turn up the ERS as he heads towards the line? In fact, this is going to be his flying lap now. As you can see, he turns up the ERS all the way to mode 5 as he makes his way on the run towards turn 1, using that curb on the right hand side to help the turn in into turn 1. And you've almost got to sacrifice the exit of turn 1 to get the entry of turn 2 right, as you now head down towards turn 3 through turn 4. And these corners come at you thick and fast from now on. Turn 5 now. 91 kph from Little Piece there as he runs a little bit wide on the exit there using that curbing. We'll have to wait and see if his lap time is valid as he now makes his way through the DRS zone down towards turn 8 and 9. And you can see they're just at the 100-metre board, braking here through turn 8 then through turn 9. Watching that exit there. Very risky to use the curb there. But it's working so far as Zenki goes fastest, 1:29.5. There's that Dutch angle then from Little Pieces. He now makes his way through turn 11 on these soft tyres, remember. Has he got the exit right? Yes, he has. He makes his way now towards turn 12. Squeezy currently out there as well. As we now make our way through turn 13 with Little Piece on the run up towards turn 14. And then making our way down towards turn 15. Will Little Piece stay out on track? I believe he will he? Yes, he will. As he makes his way towards the start-finish line. And it is going to be a 1:31.4, but it is an invalidated lap. That would have put him up into P4 on those soft tyres. So there is the pace there for Little Piece on those soft tyres. But it wasn't a valid lap. Squeezy then making a run towards the line on a set of soft tyres. Goes P3, 130.1 on some soft tyres. So obviously a little bit of sandbagging going on from the Mercedes there. As Poe in the pits, Lambo now starts a flying lap. As he makes his way through turn 2, now on the run towards turn 3. It's a short run as well, braking just before the 50-metre board. And steer in, let the rest and the engine braking slow the car down further. Now going through turn 5, then through turn 6. As now make our way through towards turn 7. DRS open. As you can see there, someone's put some styrofoam all across the track then. And that is Squeezy getting well out of the way of the Ferrari then, as we now make our way towards turns 8 and 9. You can see Lambo then attacking these curbs on those soft tyres, losing the back end slightly on the exit of turn 9, but able to keep the car under control as you now make our way up the hill towards turn 10. And chucking the car in. And with this high aero nowadays, it's full throttle through there as we now make our way through turn 11 now. Narrow entry goes to wide entry. Almost reminds you of the first corner at Shanghai, where it's a tightening radius corner. And they're making our way through 13 now, on the run towards turn 14. Through the left-hander there. As you can see there, Lambo running deep into 14, but it actually gives him a little bit of a better exit and a better entry in towards turn 15 as he now makes his way towards the start-finish line now. What's the lap time going to be? It's a 1:30.5 from the Ferrari, which puts him into 4th place right now. Lighty on a flying lap here in the Force India, now on his way towards turn 10. And Lighty, who's had those previous tyres with Ferrari, now racing at Force India here, as we now make our way through turn 11. And making our way now towards turn 12. And Lighty here will be hoping for a good performance. There is Red Bull on the outside there, as Yusi's retired from the session. So maybe thinking that's all he can do. With the yellow flags in sector 3 that are quickly gone, so that means he's retired in the pit lane. As Lighty makes his way around the final corner. Let's see what he can do then, heading towards the line. What can the Force India achieve? It's P8 for now, 131.6. And he's 2/10 ahead of his teammate right now, so he'll be feeling pretty happy about that one right now. Alan Kay, 135.2. There's his teammate Mays, who is just out on track now with 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Normally leaves it late, does Mays here. And looking to try and set a time on the ultra soft tyres. There is Siege then, making his way through turn 11. Obviously just trying to keep those tyres in check for the outlap. You can see there, that is George Roberts being wheeled into the pits then. As we look to see what's happening here then. Siege making his way now towards turn 14, now towards turn 15. And what can Siege do then on this flying lap? Gives it another go. And now making his way towards the line to try again. Go for another lap out on this track. With just under 6 minutes to go then of qualifying. Poe on a lap right now then. It's 1:31.9 as he runs deep into turn 11. Runs a little bit too wide. You can see there the car snapping. It goes through a sign there. And just about keeping control of the car somehow. That Ferrari stays in one piece. But yeah, highly frustrating for Poe then, as he uses that high abrasion surface to get himself back to the pit lane as quickly as he possibly can. And P10 right now for the Ferrari, 1:31.9. Obviously wasn't representative, as he now makes his way in towards the pit lane there. As Lighty here, making his way now back towards the pit lane. 9th place at the moment for him. Sean there in 8th place. Sean's been having a good time in that Haas car. He looks like he's really enjoying himself as well. Got that podium at Monaco. Finished high up the points at Canada as well. And he'll be hoping to just capitalise on those good results there. Spike then, 6th place, 1:30.9 on a set of soft tyres right now. And he's out there on a set of super softs right now, heading through turn 5. As he's got to watch the traction on the X there as we head through turn 6. Now on the run through turn 7 and towards the DRS zone. And let's see what speed Spike can achieve then. It's 338, 339, 340, 341 kph before he started braking there in towards turn 8. Through turn 9 we go, and it's all about the exit there. You've got to watch the traction as we now head towards turn 10. You can see they're chucking the car in. Full throttle there from Spike as we now make our way through turn 11 now. Tricky corner is turn 11, but once you get it right, it feels oh so satisfying. As we head now towards turn 12, just trying to get the car turned in as we're now heading through turn 13. This long right-hander before the braking zone of turn 14 there. You can see Spike there took the braking zone quite shallow there compared to other cars. As we head through turn 15 and on the run up towards the line, where will this put Spike then? On a set of super soft tyres, 129.9, and it puts him on the front row of the grid, but 4/10 down on Zenki at the moment on those same tyres. Pursuit, by the way, now up to P5, 130.4. Lighty, his teammate, down in P10 there. Damien in the house will be hoping to try and match Sean for pace as he makes his way out onto track with a set of soft tyres. So that is interesting then. Another set of soft tyres for Damien. Obviously he wants to try and get into the top 10 with those soft tyres, and it might be one of those things where he just doesn't mind if he doesn't make the top 10. George Roberts then in the Williams, now making his way now down towards turn 1, through turn 2 then. And George Roberts here making his way towards turn 3. Hasn't set a lap time just yet, and will be wanting to change that with just over 2.5 minutes to go. And you can see there George Roberts now making his way down towards turn 5. Maybe taking a wider entry to get that better exit, carry more speed through turn 6. You can see they're running wide in the middle of turn 6 as we head now through turn 7 and along the DRS straight down towards turns 8 and 9. And you've got to get this right here. Many drivers braking at the 100-metre board as George Roberts turns in. Just over 2 minutes to go now. Zenki on pole position with Spike in second, Siege in third, with Squeezy in fourth place then. George Roberts making his way now towards turn 10. Obviously turning the car in, full throttle again from the Williams driver. A lot of these drivers will just be going full throttle here as George Roberts now makes his way through turn 11. And Alan Kay retires from the session, 11th place. Not enough for the top 10 for him. As now we head with George Roberts through turn 12 there, and then through turn 13. As we now make our way through turn 14, and then coming around turn 15 now. What can George Roberts do? Can he get himself higher than P17? Is there an opportunity for top 10 here for George Roberts? It is 133.3 from George Roberts, so it is P17 for now. As Mays in 7th place there, retiring from the session. Sean on a set of super soft tyres, makes his way towards the line, and he'll be going for a flying lap right now. Zenki on an out lap, as you can see there, completely missing out 3 and 4 then, as we head through turn 5. Squeezy then, 129.4 from the Mercedes driver, looking to pick up exactly where we left off last time around. Spike still in the pit, so he won't be able to make it out onto track in time. Siege on a flying lap as we make our way through turn 7 and then through turn 9 that is, as you now head up the hill towards turn 10. And what can the Red Bull driver do? It looks like he's backed out, so he'll have to go again. Lambo retiring then, P6 from the Ferrari driver, but he is on a set of soft tyres. Little piece here making his way towards the line to start a flying lap. Sean here making his way through turn 9 and up the hill now towards turn 10. Who else is out there? The German in the Force India, that's Light E, making his way through turn 7. We've also got Plaster out there as well, making his way through turn 9 now. Well, that's turn 7 as Plaster has actually retired from the session, so the Red Bull driver will be taking no further part in this one. Poe making his way now towards the final couple of corners. As we now make our way through turn 15, there is George Roberts just ahead of him. As George Roberts peels away into the pit lane, Poe coming towards the line. He's currently 13th place right now on a set of super soft tyres. Puts himself up to P3. So that's exactly what he needed, the Ferrari driver. Siege then looking to push again for another lap. Checkered flag is out. And Poe now in P3. Squeezy goes even quicker, 129.2 from the Mercedes driver. Further extends his advantage at the top. Zenki out on a lap right now as George Roberts retires from the session then. So 17th place for him. Zenki then opening up the DRS as we head towards turns 8 and 9. Siege now making his way towards turn 6 and 7 now. So it's Sean 8th place. Little Piece making his way towards the final couple of corners. Graham is out there as well, making his way towards the line. Where can he go? It's a 1:33.6. It is 1.1 slower. Little Piece then making his way now towards the line. What can he do? It's P7 on his return back to TTL F1. 7th place for Little Piece. It's a good result from him. Here comes Siege then, making his way through turn 12 and through turn 13, slightly losing the back end there. Zenki's going to be right behind him. So these are the last two drivers to then set a lap time in this qualifying session. Siege makes his way around the final corner, riding on board now. Will he stay out on track? He will. He's got no more ERS to deploy. And he comes towards the line. It's 3rd place. Here comes Zenki. What can he do? It's pole for the McLaren. Zenki puts it on pole position for the French Grand Prix. And that looks to me like it's 0.015, the gap between the two of them. We'll get that official qualifying result in just a couple of seconds time. But Zenki grabs pole position away from Squeezy, and is this Zenki's chance to break that domination? 0.6 of a second, a 1:28.6 from Zenki. That's a great lap time, but remember, it's on some ultra soft tyres. Squeezy in second then, on a 1:29.2 on some super soft tyres. Siege in 3rd there with Poe in 4th. That's Spike in 5th with Pursuit in 6th. Little Piece in 7th with Lambo 8th. Sean in 9th. Maze rounding up the top 10. Then it's Lighty in 11th. Alan K 12th. Plaster 13th. Damien 14th. UC there in 15th with Graham in 16th. And George Roberts at the back of the field in P17. Well, Zenki then breaks that qualifying dominance we've had recently from Squeezy at least. But he is on a set of ultra soft tyres. And that could play into Squeezy's hand towards the end of this race. Squeezy will be trying to go for the one stop, whatever happens, super soft to soft. And it's all about the guessing game here. You can see it's a pretty muggy day at the moment. And, well, if that forecast is true, we are expecting rain towards the end of this race. When will it fall? And will it be enough to make drivers think about their strategy? Will you want to be on the fastest tyre possible as soon as the rain falls? That is a question that's on everybody's minds at the moment. Some of the drivers might be thinking, well, let's go on to the hardest possible tyre. Let's try and extend the stint until it rains. Then we can go on to a set of intermediate tyres. Some other drivers might be taking the risk entirely. Maybe they'll go on to the same set of compounds. Maybe they'll do 2 ultra soft runs in the hopes that they'll put on the intermediate tyres at the end. Therefore, you know, getting past the 2 tyre compound rule that you'd normally have in the dry. Strategy is key here at France. Overtaking is a little tricky. You've got good overtaking opportunities, maybe going down into turn 5. It's a short run towards there, but it is a good opportunity. The best place to do it is coming into turn 11, really. Try and get on the inside as you make your way through the exit of turn 10. You've also got the opportunity of the chicane through turns 8 and 9. You've got the DRS zone that tries to perfectly set you up, and that is a good overtaking opportunity. Watch out for the first couple of laps. These corners can really trip up a lot of cars, especially going through turns 1 and 2. We saw it just in 2018 where well, Sebastian Vettel caught the back of Valtteri Bottas, sent him into a spin, and it can be a little bit treacherous on these first couple of laps. Let's have a look at the tyres that everybody shows. And obviously the top 10 have to go on the tyre they qualified on. So let's have a look outside the top 10. Lighty on a set of soft tyres there. Alan K on super softs, joining him Plaster on super soft. Damien there on the soft tyre. Yuzi on softs with Graham in 16th on super softs. George Roberts joining him on super softs as well. So it looks like here maybe the likes of Lambo, Lighty, Damien and Yuzi, they've seen that forecast and they may be thinking, well, let's go for the soft tyre. We might as well try and extend the stint all the way to when the rain falls. And of course, if there is a safety car, that just gets the rain closer and closer to that pit window. For the soft tyre runners, they'll want a safety car. The sooner that rain falls, the better for them, because then they'll be able to extend their stint to just over the crossover point. But of course, that could all change. It might rain, but not hard enough for those intermediate tyres to take good effect. It is all to play for then at the French Grand Prix. Can anybody stop Squeezy's dominance so far? Zenki seems to have the right idea. Watch out for Poe then in P4 with Spike right behind him, Pursuit as well. And watch out for Little Piece on his return in the Toro Rosso. TTL F1 is brought to you by weakwifi-solutions.com, who also sponsor the Driver of the Day award. And TTL F1 is also sponsored by A Logo for all your graphic needs. They also sponsor the fastest lap of the race award today. And we're moments away here from the French Grand Prix here at the Paul Ricard circuit. Formerly used as a test track by multiple series here, it's a racetrack for Formula 1. And we are moments away here from the 8th round of TTL F1. Here we go then, 5 red lights. Round 8 is underway, and what the start slope looks like is a good start from the McLaren up ahead as he has to get away, and he does. Watch out for the Force India of pursuit then as we head our way down towards turn 1 for the very first time. Can everybody keep it clean then? It's a good start from Siege, but that's a Ferrari off. That's Poe. In P11 there, he's off the track and having to take evasive action. Meanwhile, Siege there having to defend from Spike, and Spike's got the position. Now he's up to P3. Good start from the Mercedes driver then as you now make our way through turn 5. It's pretty much single file from here. Mays then trying to hold on to his top 10 position. It's been a good start for Plaster so far. He's now up to P11. Oh, there's a little bit of a tap behind from Yuzi. Red Bull versus Toro Rosso there. Plaster won't be too impressed with Yuzi there, as actually Plaster runs wide. Yuzi has a good run as we head now down towards turns 8 and 9 for the very first time. And Alan Kay looks like he's in trouble there. Yellow flags in sector 2, and he is there just in the distance. Yuzi trying to get the inside line then as we head through turns 6 and 7. Plaster losing that place to the Toro Rosso. And obviously that tag behind set up that move. But on the first lap there, just a little bit cautious from some of these drivers. Not from Yuzi, not from Plaster though. Plaster trying to get the inside going into turn 10 there. And, well, he backed out of that one very, very quickly there. Very cautious of the Red Bull driver. Knows it's not one on the very first lap. George Roberts, by the way, up to 13th place. It's been a good start from him. He's just kept his head down there. But here comes Graham then up the inside as we make our way through turn 12 here. And the Alfa Romeo Sauber driver now going round the outside at turn 13. He'll have the inside line for turn 14, you know, as he now makes his way through there, and he does get that position back from the Williams driver. Up to 13th place goes Graham then, and we can see here Lambo coming into the pits then. So Lambo on the soft tyres must have sustained damage on that very first lap then. And you can see here, Little Piece looking to try and make a move on Lighty. He's got a really good exit out of turn 2 here, side by side with the Force India of Lighty, but he has to tuck back in. Lighty just had a better drive overall out of the corner, and we head our way through turn 3. Now through turn 4, Little Piece, is he looking for the inside line of turn 5? Locks up a little bit, trying to make his way up the inside. Now through turn 6, very close between himself and the Force India, but they keep it clean, and Lighty holds on to that position. Really good driving from both of them right now. The Force India goes right to the left hand side of the track here, and actually he pulls to one side, does he? That's a very unconventional line from Lighty then, as he makes his way now through turn 6 and through turn 7 now. Runs a little bit wide there, and he leaves himself exposed on the exit of turn 9. The Toro Rosso driver really trying to make his way past here at the moment, but can't quite do it, as Lighty now makes his way up towards turn 10, trying to hold on to 7th place for dear life at the moment. The Little Piece here looking like he wants to make his way around the outside of turn 11. Looks like a little bit of a dummy then to try and get Lighty out of shape through turn 11. Didn't quite work that time, but the racecraft is there, and these two are going to be battling for some time then. On board with Damien as he tries to chase down Graham. Graham is now up to 12th place, having made the move on Damien off screen. And now making our way through turn 13. It's a 4-car battle at the moment for 12th place, with Graham leading that charge as we head now through turn 14 and then through turn 15. DRS is enabled then, and on lap 3, Zenki leads from Squeezy, Spike, Siege, Pursuit, Sean, Lighty, Little Piece, Mays, Yuzi, Plaster, Graham, Damien, George Roberts, Poe, Lambo and Alan Kay. All 17 that started are still currently running in this race. And that looks like Poe making his way back through the field, riding on board here with Sean as he tries to pursuit if you like. And now coming down towards turn 5. The Haas driver has been in some fantastic form recently. He's got a podium to his name this season. And have a look at this battle as well between the Force India and the Toro Rosso, riding on board then with Little Piece. He's got the DRS this time, and he'll be closing in on the slipstream. Lighty going to the left hand side of the track. A little bit of a dummy going on there. Little Piece now trying to go around the outside as we head towards turns 8 and 9. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Great move there from Little Piece, but he runs a little bit wide on the exit of turn 9. Might have cost him a little bit of time there, but no such thing as Yuzi there, battling away with Plaster for 10th place there, and Plaster gets the position then, and these two will be battling throughout and up towards turn 10. Watch out as well for Poe, who's having to try and make his way back through the field after a poor start. Now going through turn 10 on the inside of the Sauber then. He's got that move done. So now he's up to P13. And this is where the respect of the back markers really gets into action. Some of them will battle you. Some of them will just let you through. And Poe here is having that difficult time. He's had a difficult time of it recently. And will be wanting to just keep his head down and get those positions one by one. Pursuit then now under pressure from Sean as we make our way down towards turn 1. Sean having a look up the inside of turn 1 then. And Nexus Pursuit just sticking to the outside and putting faith in Sean then not to overrun the corner. And he did exactly that. And kept it clean then. Poe up the inside with the DRS then on the House of Damien. And now he's up to P12. And now he's coming towards this battle for 10th place right now. Plaster versus Yuzi. And Yuzi here on the soft tyres. Looking to just try and stay on the back of Plaster right now. Losing that back end very slightly. Going through turn 4 there. But now coming through turn 6. We'll put that little bit of pressure on. Meanwhile then Squeezy on a set of super soft tyres. He's looking to put that pressure on Zenki. As we see here Sean going up the inside of Pursuit. Going into turns 8 and 9. And he's got that move done. Pursuit then will try and have a better run on the run up towards turn 10. You can see then in the slipstream. Sean goes defensive through turn 10. That's not ideal. It gives you a little bit of a compromised line. You can see there Pursuit with that dirty air having to back out. Little Piece is looking for that opportunity then to try and make his way back through. Into turn 11 he goes. And now making his way towards turn 12. And obviously on his return he'll be wanting to make that statement. He is back racing here. And now heading through turn 13 and through turn 14, through 15. We'll be looking to take advantage of that DRS zone. As we look at Pursuit here now. He's gone from attacking Sean to having to defend from Little Piece behind him. Zenki meanwhile still under pressure from the Mercedes of Squeezy as we make our way down towards turn 3. As Maze comes into the pits from those ultra soft tyres, and that looks like it's going to be a scheduled stop. Little Piece here putting Pursuit under a little bit of pressure as we head now through turn 3, then through turn 4 as Poe makes the move on Yuzi then. Now up to P10 after a difficult start for him. Little Piece still trying to make a move there. Here comes Squeezy then up the inside as we head towards turns 8 and 9. Tucks back onto the racing line and Squeezy makes the move for the lead then. And Zenki will just be trying to hold on, seeing if the tyres will get any more grip here. Little Piece making his way now down towards turns 8 and 9. Looking for a way past that Force India. None at the moment as that Plaster here was passed by Poe, but he's got the DRS here as we make our way now down towards turns 8 and 9. He'll have the inside line, and look at that, putting Poe under a little bit of pressure, but Poe succeeded that pressure, went round the outside, and still held on to that position then, as Squeezy then makes his way through turn 12, and then through turn 13. He currently leads this race then. Little Piece makes the move on Nexus Pursuit, going through turn, I believe that was turn 11 there, and it was turn 12. It's this, and Little Piece makes the move done. His next target is now Sean up ahead of him. And still that battle goes on between Yuzi and Plaster, making their way through turn 12. Lots of battling going on here. And I said it's a difficult track to overtake on. And you can see there that was Siege diving into the pits then. On those ultra soft tyres that don't last too long. Here comes Pursuit then. Down the inside, heading towards turn 1. And even with the DRS to defend then, Little Piece is struggling. Has to go around the outside of turn 1. Might have left the door open for the Force India behind him of Lighty. Lighty gets a better exit out of turn 2 then. As we now make our way down towards turn 3. I'll have the inside line. Looking to try and put it up the inside. I'll have the outside line for turn 4. But if he can hold it, it'll give him the inside line for turn 5. That's exactly what he's done. Can he shut the door? Yes, he can. Both Force Indias now past Little Piece. And Little Piece back to P7 where he was just a couple of laps ago. But he will have the DRS on the Force India ahead of him in Lighty. And Lighty, remember, on those soft tyres started in 11th place, remember. So it's been a good start for the Force India so far. And you can see he's got the pace then to match these super soft runners right now. And this is what he wants to do right now. Just making sure he keeps that pressure up. Both Force Indias, meanwhile, will want to try and find a way past Sean. But will team orders be in effect here at round number 8? I wonder. Well, Pursuit here is currently ahead of his teammate. I wonder if he'll have an opportunity to let him through. You can see there's Sean running wide in the middle of the corner at turn 11. But that just gives him an ideal line to take the apex of turn 11, I should say. And you can see what a difference that makes. Riding on board with Light E then as we make our way through turn 14. You can see running a little bit deep into 14, but maybe that opens up turn 15. The more important corner here, and you've got to be making sure that those rear tyres don't eat themselves up as we now make our way down towards turn 1. It's a relatively short distance to turn 1 at other tracks we've been to, such as Spain. And Pursuit here still looking to try and put pressure on Sean. So it's a 4-car battle here for 4th place right now. Sean's doing a good job at just keeping his head, doing what he needs to do, and just making it his own race. We have 21 laps to go here at the French Grand Prix. And you can see there, Lighty on the soft tyres. He's caught in two minds here, I reckon. He wants to battle, but also he wants to hold on to these tyres for as long as he possibly can. And the pressure from Little Piece behind him is not going to help. You can see Little Piece in the slipstream, but can he get a move done? You can see him there, just trying to make himself as big as possible, as wide as possible as well. Put the Force India under a little bit of pressure. Hasn't worked though, and the Force India stays ahead. But Pursuit then runs off the track. Made a little bit of a mistake there. And will he have to concede the position? Because he's gained time there, I wonder. But as we head through the Dutch angle then, as we head through turn 10, now coming down towards turn 11. Be an interesting one to see what Pursuit does. He runs a little bit too deep, runs wide at turn 11, and Lighty goes up the inside, absolutely takes advantage of that one. And Pursuit then now trying to hold off Little Piece. Little Piece now trying to go up the inside at turn 12. As we run through turn 13 now, still trying to run side by side as we head through turn 14 now. He's on the outside here, but if he can keep it here, he'll have the inside line for 15. Not quite though. Zenki into the pits then from second place in this race. And he's able to make those ultra soft tyres last 7 laps. But you see here, Little Piece still not giving up on this battle here with Pursuit on the run up towards turn 1. Again, nothing doing so far then, as he's still putting up that pressure then. Zenki making his way out of the pits. He's on a set of soft tyres. He'll be hoping that gets him to the end of the race, or at least into that rain stint then. Side by side, Pursuit and Little Piece through turn 4. And Little Piece has the inside line for turn 5, but you can see he runs deep. And Pursuit here will want to just capitalise on the exit then. But he can't quite do it then. Little Piece up a position, up to P5 he goes. And Pursuit here will have the DRS. Little Piece will not have DRS as we now go down towards turns 8 and 9. But as you can see, Nexus is closing, but it's not quite enough. As Pursuit then has to just keep behind Little Piece for now. Siege making his way past Damien now. And Siege, one of the early stoppers. You can see that he's rejoined on a set of super soft tyres. So he's hoping that maybe the rain comes a little bit earlier and he'll be able to just drive as fast as he possibly can. Lighty putting some pressure on Sean at the moment for 3rd place. Through turn 11 they go. And then heading up towards turn 12. You can see there Lighty has some pace about him right now. And obviously underfueled the car at the start of the race. Just give himself that little bit of pace, that little bit of better tyre wear as you now head through turn 14, heading towards turn 15. And will Lighty be able to get the better of Sean then as we head towards the start-finish line? DRS wide open for Lighty is on the run towards turn 1. You can see he's closing and closing. Is it enough to try and move into turn 1? He's going to have to go to the right-hand side, round the outside of turn 1. Can he make that move stick then? He'll have the inside line for turn 2. Contact between the two of them. And Lighty gets the move done then. And Sean there and Lighty making contact, wheel to side pod. And Lighty gets the position then. He's now up to P3. And with Damien wanting to try and attack a little bit more then, couldn't quite make it. As Little Piece still trying to put that Force India of Pursuit under pressure then. As we head through turn 6, Siege then is carving his way through the field. He's now up to P9. And Little Piece here in the slipstream then. As he heads towards turns 8 and 9. Looks to the left-hand side with the DRS wide open then. It is a long, long run if you haven't got DRS. And there you can see Little Piece gets the move done. And through turn 9 now, you can see he runs a little bit deep into turn 8. But that just gives him that perfect line to just block him. As we now head up towards turn 10. It's good driving here from Little Piece as we now head towards turn 10. You can see Poe here. Up towards turn 10 we go. He's trying to chase down Zenki, who has just rejoined on a set of soft tyres. Now I wonder, if you're Zenki, do you try and battle the car behind you? And Poe on 8-lap-old super soft tyres. And has been struggling this race. Didn't have the greatest start in the world and is currently paying for it. Plaster, meanwhile, trying to chase down Yuzi. Which a battle that seems to have gone on for quite some time. But lap 10 of this Grand Prix then. Squeezy leads. And there's Spike in 2nd place. That's Lighty in 3rd with Sean in 4th place. Little Piece is in 5th with Nexus Pursuit in 6th. Zenki has just set the fastest lap of the race. He's in 7th place. Poe into the pits. He's in 8th. That's going to promote Siege up to 8th place now. Yuzi will then go into 9th place with Plaster in 10th place. Damien there in 11th. With that is George Roberts now up into 12th place. Lambo will take 13th place away from his teammate. As Mays then on the run towards the start-finish line. Where is Poe then? Still in the pit lanes. Very slow pit lane. There's Graham then currently running in 16th place with Alan Kay in 17th place. Had to make that stop early on, assuming there was damage to that car. Still running in this race though, but just at the back of the field. And this race, you can see from Alan Kay, is far from over. There's still that possibility of rain affecting this race towards the end of this race. And that is keeping a lot of drivers on their toes. Do they attack? Do they defend? Is it worth defending? But Little Piece is still trying to make that charge on Sean happen in the Toro Rosso, currently on super soft tyres. Making our way through turn 12 now. On the run to turn 13. Squeezy into the pits then. Race leader in. And that's going to be a stop onto the soft tyres, I believe. So Spike is then going to inherit the lead on lap number 11. And I wonder how many cars will follow suit in pitting in. It's going to be Little Piece. Little Piece is one of them. So the Toro Rosso driver in. We've got a couple of other cars behind them as well. Yellow flags in sector 3. And who was that, I wonder? Well, whoever it was, it's gone now. Meanwhile, Damien still trying to catch up to Yuzi and trying to make that move stick. Lambo, meanwhile, on the back of George Roberts as we exit the final corner. George Roberts peels into the pits, though. So that's going to be his stop then. Siege picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not good for the Red Bull driver then. Damien making his way now through turn 2. He's just trying to put some pressure on Yuzi. But you see, Yuzi got a much better drive through turn 2 there. And Damien just couldn't keep up at all. And now heading through turn 3, then through 4, as Plaster then is 7th place right now, and Siege there is in 6th place. You can see it's 7.7 between the two teammates right now, and Plaster is yet to stop as well. Squeezy, as you see, rejoins in 5th place behind Zenki then, who went 3 laps longer, or 3 laps shorter I should say, than Squeezy on those super soft tyres, but has made them work. And currently sits ahead of Squeezy. Heading towards the rain though. Track position could be all that matters. Heading towards that. Well, at the moment, they've both used the dry compounds that you need to use for this race. Of course, if it rains and DRS gets disabled, that rule no longer applies. So, in theory, you could take that risk and just see, oh, that's Zenki. Tap of the back of Sean there. And I wonder if there's damage to that McLaren. As Sean now peels into the pit lane now. I wonder if there's damage to that McLaren. Let's have a look at the front wing. Looks intact to me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not damaged. As we now make our way up towards turn 1. Turning seem fine though. There's no real amount of understeer. As I say that, Zenki picks up a 3-second time penalty. Maybe there's a slight hint of understeer. Blaster into the pits. Yuzi follows him close behind. And I'm just trying to find Lambo here, and here he is, up towards turn 1, and tries to move up the inside of Damien, and Damien just sort of lets him go there. Knows that the battle's not with Lambo. But I'll tell you what, that compromise run might just invite Little Piece here to have a go as we head now down towards turns 3 and 4. And look at this, he's sizing up Damien here, who's yet to stop in this race. As you can see, now going up the inside there, as Damien once again sort of moves to one side. He's not interested in battling anybody else at the moment. He has DRS though on Little Piece, and you can see he changed up early there. Look at this, he's not interested in battling at all. As you now head down towards turn 8, you can see they're lifting and coasting right now. He's not interested in battling, he's just interested in making these tyres last right now. So with Spike coming into the pits, he rejoins in 5th place behind Siege. And what that means is currently Lighty is leading this race as he heads through turn 14 and then on the run towards turn 15. Clouds look a little bit miserable right now, but still no rain yet as Lighty crosses the line to start the 13th lap of this Grand Prix then. with Zenki setting the fastest lap of the race, 1:32.7. Here comes Plaster then with Yuzi. Where have we seen this before? Now trying to make their way through turn 10. As you can see there, Plaster backing out there as he then picks up a 3-second time penalty. Yuzi then still trying to hold on as we head through turn 11. That should be an interesting battle to keep our eye on. Sean, meanwhile, is wanting to keep up that good form, remember, as Pursuit comes into the pits. And that's going to release Sean a little bit. Sorry, that's Damien into the pits. My apologies. So Sean is actually chasing Pursuit now for 8th place. As you see Plaster here, lots of time penalties coming in. It's quite impossible to keep up with every single one of them. As, yeah, you can see there, about 4 or 5 drivers got penalties within about 5 seconds there. So, a little bit difficult to keep up with them, but I'll do my best. But we won't really know the true results until we get to the checkered flag. Last then trying to close in on Yuzi. Meanwhile then, Zenki is trying to close in on Lighty. Lighty here has the pace advantage on the straights, but then coming through the corners and where the mechanical grip is needed, you can see how much Zenki then closes in on Lighty. And Lighty, who's yet to stop in this race, you can see the tyre wear and how that affects you. Little piece then, as trying to put some pressure on Lambo as we head through turn 10. And as we make our way now towards turn 11 here, Lambo deciding to take the curb, run a little bit wider through turn 11, then try and get the better exit. And Little Piece here is putting Lambo under that bit of pressure. Here's a move for the lead then. Zenki up the inside as we head towards turn 1. Will Lighty put up a fight? No, he doesn't. And he rather lets that one go. Knows he's not really battling for the lead at the moment. He could be towards the end. But Little Piece here, right on the tail of the Ferrari in the Toro Rosso. And, well, he's fighting a champion here as we head towards turn 1. Moves to the left-hand side, trying to go up the inside into turn 1. But there's no way past there, and he has to back out of it. Poe, meanwhile, getting up into the points now as Squeezy makes his way past Lighty with some DRS. And Lighty didn't look like he made that too difficult there. Might have a move up the inside, but no, he stays behind. It doesn't make it difficult at all for the Mercedes driver. And he knows here he's not battling them. He doesn't want to lose any more time than he has to. Little Piece here putting the Season 11 champion under a little bit of pressure then. As Little Piece then with the DRS open, making our way now down towards turns 8 and 9. And Little Piece in the Toro Rosso is now ahead as we head towards turns 8 and 9. And up to 6th place he goes. And, well, Lambo here is in a world of trouble. Obviously, he's out of sync at the moment because he pitted in on the very first lap. But Sean here now under pressure from Pursuit. Oh, sorry, the other way around. Pursuit under pressure from Sean as he now make our way through turn 10. And obviously, Sean not bothered by the dirty air at all as he looks up the inside at turn 11, tries to take a little bit of the curb there. And Pursuit will be seeing those red arrows there and be a little bit cautious about steering in. And now we head towards turn 12. There's been some good racing and some good battling here tonight so far. This is exactly what we want to see with 13 laps to go. And Sean here just putting Pursuit under pressure. Heading through turn 15. And on towards the start-finish straight then. Pursuit looks like he's got the better exit. But as we make our way down towards turn 1, you can see the Haas driver has the DRS then on the Force India driver. As we now make our way towards turn 1, riding on board with the Haas of Sean then as Nexus runs a little bit deep into turn 2. And that's going to be the perfect opportunity. Sean wants to take advantage of this. He'll look up the inside at turn 3 and try and make this move stick. And he does. Capitalises on Pursuit's mistake and heading through turn 5. Well, that's that done then. Sean is now up to 8th place. That's exactly what he was looking for. Pressurising the Force India into a mistake. That's exactly what's happened there. And Pursuit here has it all to do with the DRS. He might have another go here. Because look at the straight line speed that Force India has around the left hand side. And coming down towards turn 8 here. Pursuit back ahead of the Haas then. And all that hard work from Sean. He has to do it all over again. He's now heading up towards turn 8 now. Or turn 10 I should say. Through that right-hander, and you could see he wasn't bothered at all by the dirty air as we head through turn 10. Still full throttle here. Will he try another move up the inside in towards turn 11? He knows here that the DRS now is important, and he knows here that Pursuit with DRS is still going to get past him every single time. Lighty on the soft tyres into the pits. As Sean here still trying to put Pursuit in the Force India, under pressure as we head through turn 13, now towards turn 14. The Haas driver knows he's in some great form and he wants to get past Pursuit, but it's not going to be easy, especially with that DRS. As we now head down towards turn 1. At this moment in time, Sean is still putting that pressure on. As you can see there, the Force India of Light E rejoined right in this battle here. It caught them both off guard, but Pursuit still holds on. And you can see there, Sean now might have a good run as we head towards turn 3. It's side by side now. As the Force India has the inside line, the Haas will have the outside line. Becomes the inside for turn 4. But then the Force India of Pursuit will have the inside for turn 5. But he backs out of the move. Obviously prioritising the DRS then. Down the straight towards turns 8 and 9. And, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's see how that plan's going to pan out. You can see here Pursuit still closing in. And still closing in on Sean then as he moves to the left. Pursuit then making his way now down towards turns 8 and 9. Gets the move done. And he is now up a position once again. And, well, Sean here is just going to be a little bit frustrated right about now. He just can't seem to find the move and make it stick as we now head up towards turn 10. And once again, still trying to make that move stick. Then up the inside, it's just started to rain here. As we now head down towards turn 11, there is drops of rain. And Sean has made the move stick. What a move from Sean. He knew that had to be done. Light E taking advantage of the teammate then. Oh, Light E's run into the back of Sean and lost a bit of front wing. Well, he's got to stay out now. As this rain's falling down, he's got to stay out, surely. As Spike then makes the move on Siege. Spike up to P3 then. Just going down towards turn 1, and Light E will be frustrated with himself there. He knows that's a mistake that will come back to haunt him later on in this race. As Light E here still trying to close up on Sean then as he moves to the left hand side, coming down towards turn 1 with the DRS as he moves to the inside line. Sean there now going around the outside. Light E taken to the curb, getting all out of shape on the exit of turn 2. But you can see there the Force India driver still trying to go around the outside here. It becomes the inside for turn 4. Tapped him. The Haas goes round and collects Pursuit as well. And Light E aggressive there. Tap the rear of Sean, sent it flying around, and he'll be hoping there, Pursuit, that his front wing isn't too badly damaged. And as we head onto the short straight down towards turns 8 and 9, it's aggressive driving from Light E, but he is up to P7 now. And, well, that's broken it now. As you can see, the Force India from Pursuit here maybe wanted to try that move down the inside. His usual move through 8 and 9, but it didn't work this time. 11 laps to go, and the rain has started to fall. We're actually nearer 10 laps to go now. And I wonder if this rain is going to be enough to force an intermediate change here. 10 laps to go here in France. Squeezy looking for that way past in these ever dampening conditions. Light E meanwhile 7th place. Sean in 8th with Pursuit in 9th, and Siege comes into the pits. Now, is this a change onto some wet tyres? Let's have a look. And no, on go another set of super softs for Siege then. So Siege gambling and putting on another set of slick tyres for the end of the race. Now, I wonder if that was a move that needed to be done. It looked like a call from himself. DRS not disabled just yet. So, no clear crossover point just yet. And Squeezy here still behind the McLaren then of Zenki, hoping to get his first race win of the season with just about 9.5 laps to go. And how about this battle here? It's for 6th place. Lighty, Sean and Pursuit here, all battling away for 6th place. Meanwhile, we're heading through turn 11 now, on board with Zenki and Squeezy as they look to battle away for position. And I wonder here, Siege now rejoining in 10th place, what that's going to do then, because he's definitely committed to try and stay out to the end of the race on those tyres now. Lighty here, still 6/10 ahead of Sean right behind it, but there's Lambo just ahead. As Zenki still trying to hold on, but this might be a last chance Zenki has to try and hold on to this lead. He goes to the left-hand side as much as he possibly can, coming down towards turn 1. Squeezy with the DRS trying to turn in now, and he's got the move. And Squeezy takes the race lead in towards turn 1, but is Zenki done there then, as we now head down towards turn 3 here. And you can see there, drivers just starting to struggle a little bit on these tyres. It's not as much as they were expecting. And the track doesn't seem to be getting that greasy that quickly at the moment. So the drivers are very confident in these tyres and they're staying out. You can see it's just starting to get a little bit greasy out there. But not enough for those intermediate tyres just yet then. Here's Siege then on the run on Poe down towards turn 1. And in a race where Poe needed these really good points, he's still trying to go around the outside of turn 1, inside of turn 2. And oh, he loses that back end very slightly. And that loses all the momentum he had on Siege then on the run towards turn 3. And Siege is now up to 9th place. Sean, meanwhile, still on Lighty's tail. Maze is into the pits. And that looks like another set of super soft tyres going on then for the Renault driver. So again, he's committing to the end of this race then. Sean then, still in that slipstream of Lighty as we make our way now down towards turns 8 and 9. You can see how much the Haas was closing in there, but it just wasn't enough to get that move done. And Lighty, again, just going very defensive on the run up to turn 10 as they turn in now. And you can see here the drivers are starting to lift through turn 10. There's not as much grip as they'd like around there anymore as you now head through turn 11. And who's that up ahead of them? Well, that's Lambo, who seems to be struggling in these conditions right about now. 17 laps on those soft tyres he's had so far. And that might be why his tyres might just be going off the cliff very, very slightly. He was gambling here that on the stops they would have pitted in for the intermediates now. But Lambo is into the pits then from 5th place. And what's this from the Ferrari crew then? What tyres go on? And Poe is out. Poe is out of the session. And where is he gone? That is sector 3 anyway. And can't see Poe out on track at the moment. They must be coming through the last couple of corners. As that's Yuzi into the pits then. As yeah, I can't quite see where Poe's gone, but he has retired from this race then. As Zenki here retakes the lead of the race. And very sorry you missed out on the stream going through turn 11. But Zenki gets the move done. And he's now back into the lead of this race then. And a virtual safety car has been deployed for Poe's retirement. So drivers now back off. They can save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of ERS, build that all back up. Yuzi first car onto the intermediate tyres. He's taken the plunge. Might be just slightly too early, but the rain has just got a little bit heavier over these past couple of minutes. And the virtual safety car looks like it's ending, and it has ended now. DRS back online, and we're back on the green flag racing. And Squeezy here now coming down towards turn 1. Wanted to have a better run on Zenki there, but where the virtual safety car was disengaged, it almost cost Squeezy a chance of a position here. Here comes Siege then, trying to go around the outside of Nexus as we head through turn 12 here. Just trying to put him into a little bit of a racecraft mistake here. Through turn 13 we go, and then towards turn 14, you can see there Siege has committed on those Red Wall super soft tyres, and is looking to get them to the end of the race now. We've got Pursuit and Siege battling. We've also got Lighty and Sean battling as well. Both battles going on at the same time here. But here comes the Red Bull of Siege then. Up the inside he goes. And into 7th place he goes. Meanwhile, off the stream then, Squeezy has made yet another move on Zenki. And these two are battling like their lives depend on it right now. 7 laps to go. 6.5 if you're picky. As we now make our way towards turn 10. And will either of these two come into the pit lane at any point here? As we now make our way through turn 11. Still looks like there's a good amount of grip out there on those slick tyres. So they won't be too tempted just yet. As they now make their way towards turn 12. That's Yuzi getting well off the racing line there. He's actually on a set of intermediate tyres at the moment. And there is Siege then battling away. He's now ahead of Sean. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. That's Yuzi who's off the track there. And those intermediate tyres look like they're not giving a lot of grip at all. And the Toro Rosso driver really struggling out there for grip, let alone anything else. And Zenki here still trying to put pressure on the race leader. Meanwhile, here's Siege up the inside at turn 11. And he's got better grip, better tyres. And now Lighty's still trying to defend up towards turn 12. The two of them make contact there. But that is Siege now up a position. Into P5 he goes. And Lighty's not going to let that go without a fight. Down towards turn 14 now, and then through turn 15. We've seen Lighty here with the DRS. It's a very powerful tool, especially around this track. And Lighty here looking to try and make the DRS work. Can it work? on the run up towards turn 1. And you can see there he is closing and closing, but it's not quite enough. Lap 22 of this Grand Prix. Squeezy leads from Zenki. Out Spike in 3rd. With Little Piece in 4th, Siege in 5th. Then this battle here, Lighty, Sean and Pursuit then. As there are yellow flags out there, but they've been cleared. So just must be someone going off the track very slightly. Lighty going very off track there on the exit of turn 6. And that's going to compromise him through turn 7 here. And Sean may not really need DRS here. He's got a good run as he makes his way now down towards turns 8 and 9. And as you can see here, making his way down towards turn 8 here into the braking zone. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. And Lighty there just getting that little bit of a compromised exit out of turn 7 there. And it's cost him that position. He will have another go back at him up the hill towards turn 10. As Damien comes into the pits, he puts on ultra soft tyres. So a lot of the drivers thinking that they can make it to the end without having to go onto the intermediate tyres. And that is something that has to be thought about right now. There will be a certain point where it's not worth coming in on those intermediate tyres. It's worth just staying out to the end of the race. And at the moment, that's what these drivers are thinking. Lap 23 then. Out of 27 of this Grand Prix, we've got Squeezy leading by 1.2 ahead of Zenki. That is Spike in 3rd. Little Piece has come into the pits. Now I wonder if this is a move to go onto some intermediate tyres. Into the pits he goes. What tyres go on? No, Ultra Soft's on. Ultra Soft's on for Little Piece, and he leaves the pit lane then. So Little Piece was running in 4th place. Clearly thought he wasn't going to make it to the end. And where will he rejoin then? Well, where is Lambo? He's coming towards the start-finish line. There is Little Piece, who's just rejoined out onto track then. So he's now in 8th place at the moment. And that's going to put both Force Indians up to 6th and 7th place, with Sean now in 5th place. He's having a really good race right now. Good battles with the Force Indians, and he's really showing his worth right now. Mays closing in on Plaster here on lap 23. As you can see, the rain falling, but it's not enough. It's not enough to change this race dynamically. It's not enough to change this race so that people have to come into the pits. No flags in sector 2 as Pursuit is out. Pursuit is out of the race. And where has he gone off? You can see there's a stricken Force India on the left-hand side there. That looks like he's lost the back end to me. And next is Pursuit, who was having a really good race with his teammate. He was running high up into the points. But the Force India is now out of the French Grand Prix. It becomes our 3rd retirement of today's race. Meanwhile, Mace is trying to go around the outside here of Plaster. And Plaster doing his best to try and battle, but he can't get any more out of the tyres. He's still trying to put Maze under a little bit of pressure up towards turn 10 now. And he thought about it, but then instantly thought, better not do that then. As Maze then makes his way into the points. Well, that would have been for 10th place. Now it's for 9th place. So Plaster then not losing out too much then. He's still in the points. Lighty then, without his teammate behind him. Now looking ahead to Sean. That's all he can do right now. Just look straight ahead of him. While Squeezy here, lap 24. As they now head through turn 11. It's looking like it's going to be race win number 7 and 6 in a row. That is the dominance of Squeezy so far. Gone were the days where I used to race him. And now Graham's out. These tricky conditions are catching all of these drivers out here. And now Graham is the latest car to suffer the consequences. And, well, that is the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Not going to make it to the end of the race then. Squeezy heading towards the line then. And he'll start lap 25. We have 3 laps to go here in France and at Paul Ricard. 1.3 is the gap between himself and Zenki. Then it is Spike rounding off the podium right now. And he's just in a little bit of a race of his own right now. 16 seconds behind Zenki, but 20 seconds ahead of Siege. So really in a race of his own right now. Lighty then making his way through turn 12 and then through turn 13. But you can see here on the run towards turn 14, Lighty still trying to want to close that gap. On the run now towards the start-finish line, he has the DRS open, and the DRS hasn't been switched off at any point. I'll tell you when DRS will be turned off. I'll bet. It's right after the checkered flag. Just before the last car crosses the line, that's when the DRS will be switched off. Squeezy here now making his way through turn 10. And then coming towards turn 11 here. And, well, it hasn't been a straightforward race here for Squeezy. He's had to do quite a bit of battling with Zenki, who's kept him to his word. And he's had to overtake Zenki twice on track for position. Once at the very start of the race there, to get him away from pole position. And the second time was when Zenki pitted in 3 laps earlier than Squeezy to try and perform the undercut. It worked to begin with, but then Squeezy had the pace to close in and close that gap. 2 laps to go then, as we head down towards turn 1 with Squeezy. And you can see there the rain is still falling as yellow flags in sector 3. And where is that then? That would look like it was Alan Kay, who took a little bit of an excursion there. He's still in the race, he's still on track. And let's have a look at the gap between the leader there. You can see all but 12th and 13th are on the lead lap right now, but that is George Roberts just ahead of Squeezy there. George Roberts currently running in 11th place right now on his return to TTL F1. And Little Piece running in 7th place there on a fresh set of ultra soft tyres. And well, he's closing the gap to the car ahead, but it might not be enough towards the end of this race. Squeezy once again making his way towards turn 10. You can see that he's using that slipstream from the Williams then, making his way up towards turn 10 now. George Roberts just gets well out of the way. Zenki wants to take the line as well. Squeezy still leading this one through turn 11. Making his way now towards turn 12. Zenki 2.2 the gap is now. And of course this is the race results before penalties have been applied. Of course there have been quite a few penalties handed out this race by race control. And I wonder if it'll just be a case of, well, we won't know who's won this race until all the cars have crossed the checkered flag. Meanwhile then, Squeezy starts the final lap of the race in the lead. Will he end it in the lead though? 2.4 between himself and Zenki right behind. Meanwhile, Damien here wants to try and have a go for 11th place on this final lap as we head now towards turn 1 and 2. And Damien here might fall into the trap of thinking there's 2 laps to go for him, but actually it is the final lap of the race. Squeezy tiptoeing his way through turn 5, then through turn 6. It's not long to go now for Squeezy, and it could be race win 7 out of 8 for the season. The only one he didn't win was round 2 at Bahrain. Since then, he's been on a dominant form, to say the least. 5 wins in a row so far, could be 6 wins in a row at the end of the race today. And as he makes his way now on the run towards turn 10, it is only really a couple of corners to go. And now it's only 1 sector to go to make it 6 on the trot. And what a result that would be for the Mercedes driver to further extend his advantage at the top, as Lambo gets a 3-second time penalty towards the end of this race then. Squeezy making his way through turn 12, riding aboard now as he tiptoes his way through turn 13. Well, the rain certainly didn't rain on his parade as he makes his way now through turn 14 and on the short run towards turn 15 for the final time here at the French Grand Prix. Squeezy will come towards the line to make it 6 wins on the trot. Squeezy crosses the line to take the win. And that yellow flag in the top left corner must have been Zenki, because he's 8 seconds off the pace now as he spins his way across the line. Second place for the McLaren driver. As you see there, George Roberts finishing ahead of Damien by 1/10 of a second. Spike making his way across the line now, and he'll take 3rd place. 5.8 seconds as well, so he mustn't have finished with too many penalties if he was able to close the gap on Zenki like that. Siege then looks like he's going to finish in 4th place. That's a good result for the Red Bull driver to just get himself back on form as he makes his way towards the line then. And that is 4th place there for Siege, wrapping that one up. Sean then continues his fantastic run in the Haas as he looks to gain 5th place for the Haas team. And the Haas team are very pleased with Shaw's performances recently. Lighty will come across the line in 6th. Little Piece on his return will jump Lighty there. Lambo coming across the line to finish in 8th place. So that is Little Piece in 6th, Lighty 7th. Lambo in 8th as Mays now tiptoeing his way through towards the end of this race. As he makes his way through turn 14 now. And it looks like he's going to grab 9th place in this one, as he now tiptoes his way around the final corner towards the start finish line. Mace is going to grab 9th place in this one, and then Plaster coming around the final corner is going to take the last points paying position of the race today. But your winner of the French Grand Prix, it's 6 wins in a row, win number 7 of the season. Squeezy wins the French Grand Prix. Well, when you have a dominant run like this, you've got to take advantage of it and celebrate every moment. It's another win for Squeezy to add to his cabinet here in season number 13. Well then, let's have the official, unofficial results then from the French Grand Prix. Squeezy takes the race win with Zenki in 2nd place. Spike then finishing in 3rd with Siege in 4th. Sean then in 5th place with Little Piece on his return, finishing in 6th place. That's Lighty in 7th, Lambo in 8th, Maze in 9th, and Plaster rounding out the top 10. George Roberts finishing in 11th, Damien in 12th, and Alan K 13th. Non-finishers Graham, Pursuit, Yuzi, and Poe all not finishing the French Grand Prix. Well, it's been an interesting one. There was rain all the way through that sort of last fifth of that race there, but not enough to change the whole perspective of it. All the drivers able to stay out on dry tyres and just sort of tiptoe their way to the end of the race, and that will do it then. Race win number 7 for Squeezy there, as he looks to try and wrap up this championship as quickly as he possibly can. And next time around, we will have we'll have to wait and see if he can make it 7 on the trot as we head to the Austrian Grand Prix for 36 laps. Yes, 36 laps around the Austrian Grand Prix. And I hope you're looking forward to that one. We will have Commentators Corner, which of course is in a separate stream, but in the meantime, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well, so you know and notified every time TTTV goes live, which includes Commentators Corner coming up in just a couple of minutes time. It's been a fascinating French Grand Prix, that's for sure, and we will have commentators coming up in just a few short minutes, of course, in a separate stream. So in the meantime, stay tuned to the channel.